First story. I denied my daughter's birthday, like I do every year. Cancelled her present and bought something universal and useful for my sons. And threw a party for my sons and cousins on her birthday. And my ungrateful daughter sulked. So I grounded her and told her to move on. But she abandoned me. Throw away because my daughter uses Reddit. I 45M have 3 kids 16M, 14M, and 12F. This post is about my youngest, my daughter. Her birthday is on New Year's Day. So yeah, it gets complicated. Every year it's kind of caught between the chaos of Christmas and the noise of New Year's Eve. I'll admit, her birthday sometimes ends up getting wrapped into other events. Not intentionally, but it just happens. We've always tried to make her feel special, though. Even if it was just a small cake or a dinner the day after, we've never ignored it. Now, she's very different from her brothers. She keeps to herself a lot. She's into books, small DIY things, and some niche online stuff I honestly don't understand. She's usually in her room and doesn't talk much unless she needs something. She doesn't like crowds or loud events and has no interest in the things her brothers enjoy: sports, games, hanging out with cousins. We've tried to bring her out of her shell. I and my wife have pushed her to socialize more, get involved in family things, and make friends at school. But she always falls back into her bubble. Her teachers say she's polite, but extremely quiet. Even at home, she just floats around us unless something is bothering her. I'll be honest, I sometimes don't know how to talk to her. It's a different kind of parenting than I'm used to. Now to the issue. We asked her how she wanted to celebrate her birthday this year. She said she just wanted to stay in her room, have her favorite snacks, and watch her shows or read. Alone. That was it. I get that she's an introvert, but I don't think that's healthy. Spending a birthday holdup like that, it felt sad. And yes, part of me worried how it would look. The whole family gets together for New Year's. We host every other year, and this was our year. If she stayed in her room the entire day while we were all celebrating, people would ask questions or assume something was wrong. Some of our relatives are blunt and don't know how to mind their own business. So I and my wife decided to include a birthday celebration in the New Year's party. We thought we'd keep the vibes upbeat and surprise her with some stuff she liked. My brother brought a projector for movies. We ordered a bouncy castle for the kids in the family, mostly her younger cousins. There was a big barbecue, and we even got her a cake with her name on it. Now here's where people might start to get irritated with me. The party wasn't really centered around her interests. And yeah, looking back I see that more clearly now. The movie my brother put on was one of my older son's favorites. The games were all things my sons usually do with their cousins: trivia, outdoor stuff, that kind of thing. The music was all from my 16-year-old's playlist. He even helped pick it. My daughter basically stayed in the corner of the living room all day, barely said a word, ate one piece of cake, and went back to scrolling on her phone. I nudged her a few times to get involved and tried to get her to talk to her cousins, but she just shook her head. My sons noticed and said she was being a brat about it, especially since Dad went out of his way to throw a party for her. But honestly, I could tell she was shutting down. My wife said we should just let her be and focus on the guests. Later that night, when everyone left, we were cleaning up, and she came downstairs completely furious. This wasn't a tantrum. She was mad. She said we ruined her birthday, that we didn't listen to her, and that we never actually cared about what she wanted. That set my wife off. She told her to watch her tone and reminded her that she got a party, cake, and gifts, while some kids don't get anything. My daughter just stood there shaking and finally said, "I told you I didn't want a party. I just wanted to be alone for once." My wife told her to go to her room if she wanted to be alone so badly. She slammed the door and didn't come out again that night. There's another thing I need to mention. The only gift she asked for was a hot chocolate machine she saw online. She drinks hot chocolate every day. Doesn't like tea or coffee, just hot chocolate. She had been dropping hints about it since mid-November. But when it came time to buy gifts, I thought that was kind of a strange thing to get a 12-year-old. And it felt impractical. So we got her something different, a Bluetooth speaker that my older son has and loves. He even helped me pick the color. My daughter didn't even open the box when she saw it. Just placed it on her shelf and left it there. That's when it clicked for me. Most of the day had been tailored towards things my sons enjoyed. I'm not going to lie, I get along better with my boys. We share interests. I've spent more time with them over the years because we've had more common ground. With my daughter, it always feels like I'm walking on eggshells, trying to figure her out. So yeah, I've lent into what's familiar my sons. I realize that now. But at the time, I really did think she'd come around once she saw the setup. I thought maybe she'd smile, or at least have one good moment during the party. Instead, she looked miserable. And when she blew up at us after, I honestly felt like she was being ungrateful. I tried to explain to her that it was a compromise, that we included her birthday in something bigger to make it feel more special. But she just gave me a blank stare and went silent again. The next morning, she didn't say a word to anyone. Didn't come down for breakfast. My wife left her a plate in the microwave, but she didn't touch it. She stayed in her room the entire day, even when my sister came by to drop off some leftover food and asked to say hi. I told her my daughter was tired, but I'm pretty sure she knew something was off. The speaker box was still on her shelf, unopened. I honestly thought she'd warm up to it. It's not like I picked something random my son uses his all the time and said it would be perfect for her room. I even picked purple, her favorite color. I thought that would matter. I went up to check on her around noon. I knocked and asked if she wanted to come hang out with us, or maybe just talk. She said no, without opening the door. Later, I found out from my wife that she cried herself to sleep the night before. She had told her mom that she felt like she didn't matter, like no one cared enough to listen. That even on her birthday, everything had to go the way we wanted. That's what got to me. I've always told myself I love all my kids equally. I still believe I do. But my daughter is right. I don't always show it equally. My sons are easier for me. We talk sports, music, and school stuff. They're outgoing, and they don't need much emotional digging. With my daughter, I never know where I stand. There's more to this too. Last year, she wanted to go to her favorite bookstore and grab a new set of fantasy novels. I took all 3 kids instead, and we ended up rushing through the trip because her brothers got bored and kept complaining. She got 1 book. I told myself she was fine with it. But now I wonder. Even smaller things like how I talk about them around family. I brag about my oldest's grades and sports. My middle son's band stuff. But when people ask about her, I say, she's quiet, or she keeps to herself. That's it. This time, it feels like I really hurt her. And what's bothering me most is that I keep circling back to why I didn't just do what she asked. She wasn't asking for anything big. She wanted a quiet day with snacks and her favorite drink in peace. That's it. The hot chocolate machine wasn't some expensive nonsense. I could have clicked a button and had it at the house a week before. But I convinced myself I knew better. That a party would pull her out of her shell. That giving her a speaker she didn't ask for would open up something in her. And yeah, I was thinking about how things looked. I didn't want the family asking why she wasn't celebrating. I didn't want to deal with the awkward questions. Even the party looking back, it wasn't even really for her. The playlist was my son's. The bouncy castle was for the younger cousins. The projector movie was my older son's pick. Every part of it ended up being things they liked. She wasn't even included in the planning because we didn't think she'd want to be. We just assumed. My sons are still acting like she's overreacting. My oldest said she's acting emo and ungrateful, especially since they gave up their own New Year's plans to help with the party. But they didn't really. Their friends came over. They had the music they liked, the food they asked for, and a party that catered to everything they enjoy. She sat through hours of noise, crowding, relatives she doesn't connect with, and a celebration that had her name on the cake, but nothing else in it for her. Then she got told off when she said how she felt. I've tried to talk to her since, but she's still shut down. She did thank my wife for breakfast this morning, so I guess that's something. But we haven't had a real conversation since that night. Now I'm wondering if the damage is worse than I thought. I didn't throw the party to hurt her. I wasn't trying to erase her wants. I genuinely thought it would make her feel included or seen, or maybe just get her to have some fun. But she's not built like her brothers. She doesn't fake smiles to keep the peace. And I can't shake the feeling that she's been quietly swallowing this kind of thing for years. Letting us pick for her, decide for her, gloss over what she asks for, and this time, it finally hit a wall. So now I'm stuck between 2 thoughts. On one hand, she's 12. She doesn't get to dictate everything, and part of growing up is doing things with your family, even when you don't feel like it. But on the other hand, if someone says what they want clearly, politely, in advance, and you do the opposite, how can you expect them to feel anything but ignored? Was I wrong here? Was I just trying to force a version of fun on her that never fit? My wife says she'll come around. That kids get moody and dramatic, and that we did our best. But I keep thinking that if it were my sons, I'd have handled it differently. I'd have made sure their day had everything they liked. I'd have checked with them more. I would have made damn sure they got the gift they asked for. I didn't do that for her. I made guesses. and I guessed wrong. So Ada. Comments. Comment 1. Man, reading this was rough because it reminds me of stuff I messed up with my own kid years ago. The problem isn't the party itself. It's the pattern. Your daughter told you exactly what she wanted. Not vaguely. Not in hints. She spelt it out. And every adult in the room collectively decided her answer didn't count because it didn't match your idea of a good birthday. That's the kind of thing kids remember forever, especially the quiet ones. You keep framing her choice like it was unhealthy or sad, but that's you projecting. Some people recharge alone. Some kids feel safest when the spotlight is off them. Instead of trusting her, you tried to correct her personality. That never works. It just teaches them to stop telling you what they want. The gift situation is honestly worse. She asked for something specific that fit her daily habits, and you overrode it for something your son likes. Intent doesn't matter much here. Impact does. From her perspective, even her birthday gift had to go through her brother first. That sticks. You F'd this up. If you want a future where she actually talks to you as a teenager, you'll need to own this one without defending it. No explanations. No, we were just trying. Just listening, finally. Comment 2. You're focused on the party like it's the main issue. But the real problem is how you've been chipping away at her sense of being heard. Her brother's got the party they'd enjoy, the music they like, and the gift he uses. She got background status at her own birthday. Then when she expressed being hurt, she got shut down again. Your words make it sound like her preferences are a flaw. Introverted, unconventional, doesn't desire a lot of things typical of girls her age. That's code for, I don't understand her, so I dismiss her. You keep trying to steer her into a mold that suits the rest of the family, instead of meeting her where she is. And the way you phrase things, we tried to fix this. She sat in the corner. The boys are on our side. You've set the tone for how the rest of your family treats her. She's a problem to solve, not a person to understand. Of course she shut down. She's learned that speaking up gets her nothing. Yes, YTA. But more than that, you've shown your daughter where she ranks, and that will stay with her a long time. Comment 3. Forget whether the party was nice or the food was good. That's noise. The core issue is simple. She clearly stated a preference. It was reasonable, and every decision made that day ignored it. That teaches a kid something very specific. Speaking up doesn't matter. I don't buy the idea that this was about her needing social exposure. If that were the case, the event would have had things she enjoyed mixed in. Instead, it mirrored what already happens in your house. Older sons get catered to because they're louder and more obvious. You even admitted you don't really know how to connect with her, which makes this feel less like a one-off and more like a default setting. The good news is this isn't unrecoverable. She's 12, not gone forever. But fixing it means an actual apology, not one wrapped in reasons. It means returning the speaker or letting her sell it. It means buying the stupid hot chocolate machine and admitting you dismissed her wants. If you do nothing and wait for her to come around, she'll adapt by pulling inward even more. She already showed you how she handles feeling overlooked. Pay attention to that while you still can. Update. It's been about 2 weeks since I posted. I read every reply. A lot of it hit harder than I expected. Some of you asked if I even liked my daughter. Like, really? At first, I brushed off most of the comments. Thought people were just reacting emotionally or blowing it out of proportion. I've always believed I was doing the best I could for all 3 of my kids. But some of the replies made me slow down and look back at things I've been brushing off for years. Especially around how different I treat my sons compared to her, and how much I've excused that just because I feel more comfortable with them. After the post, things in the house got even worse. A few days later, I found out my daughter gave the Bluetooth speaker, the one I gave her for her birthday, to her cousin at school. The cousin was showing it off in a group chat. One of my sons saw it and told me. I was furious. It felt like a slap in the face. I came home, went straight to her room, and told her she had no right to give away something without checking with me first. She said, "It wasn't mine to begin with." That stung. She said it so calmly too. I took the speaker back from the cousin's family and gave it to my middle son instead. He's using it every day. He thanked me. Appreciated it. My daughter didn't even react when she saw it on her brother's desk. Just turned back to her book like she'd already moved on. But that wasn't the end of it. That same week, I was walking past her room one night and heard her talking. At first I thought she was on a call, but then I noticed she was talking to her cat, this tiny old rescue we got 2 years ago that's basically attached to her. She was sitting on the floor next to it, saying stuff like, "At least you don't care if I'm boring," And no one listens to me unless I'm mad. I didn't say anything. Just stood there and listened. She wasn't crying. She wasn't whispering. She was just talking. I don't think she knew I was there. It felt private, like something I wasn't supposed to hear. And it made me feel sick. It hit me that she doesn't even feel comfortable saying those things to anyone in this house. So she tells her cat instead. A few days later, she got invited to a classmate's birthday party. One of those low-key things with 3 kids, pizza, and movie night. She came home with a little gift bag, had a quiet smile on her face, and went up to her room humming. My wife said it was the first time she looked relaxed since before the holidays. I won't lie, it hurt. That she looked happier in someone else's home, at someone else's birthday, than she did during the party we threw for her. I started wondering if she's just happier away from us. Then my wife cracked. We'd both been walking on eggshells trying to get her to talk to us. But she kept things surface level. One-word answers. Kept herself busy in her room or buried in a book. One night, my wife tried to sit with her while she was doing a puzzle. Asked her how school was and how she was feeling. My daughter said, "I'm fine, you don't have to pretend." My wife came downstairs crying. Said she feels like she's already lost her. Since then, it's like the whole family's been fraying. My sons are fed up. They've been making comments like, "Why is she always sulking?" Or, "She's so dramatic. She gets everything she wants anyway." I told them to ease off, but it's clear they're tired of the mood too. One of them said he doesn't know why we're walking around like we hurt a baby deer. I snapped at him and told him he was being cruel. But the truth is I probably created that tone. They learned it somewhere. Around the same time, my daughter quietly reorganized her room. Took down all the pictures from the corkboard. Moved her stuffed animals into a box. Gave some books to her cousin. It wasn't a meltdown. It was surgical. She was stripping things out piece by piece. I didn't say anything, but the room looked like someone was moving on. Then something unexpected happened. She won a small writing contest at school. The school printed out her story in the library newsletter. Her teacher emailed us to let us know. She hadn't mentioned it at all. I congratulated her that evening, and she just nodded. No reaction. So I tried again. This time I ordered the exact hot chocolate machine. She wanted the one she'd originally asked for on her birthday. I put it in the kitchen with a note that said, "Proud of you." She said thank you, then went back upstairs. That was it. She uses it every day. Doesn't talk about it. Doesn't bring it up. She just makes her drink and disappears again. I tried to make a bigger effort after that. I asked her if she wanted to go out for a snack, just the 2 of us. She declined, saying she had homework. I asked her if she wanted to watch a show. She said, maybe later, and never followed up. I gave her space after that. But it's hard not to feel the gap growing. One thing that made me stop in my tracks, my older son made a joke in front of us about the birthday party being his. Something like, "Well, yeah, it was basically my party." He laughed, but the second he said it, I saw the look on my daughter's face. Blank again. I realized even he saw what we did. And still, he let her take the hit. My middle son, the one who got the speaker, pulled me aside later and said he kind of gets why she's upset. He said he probably would be too if every party felt like someone else's. That was the first time either of the boys even slightly acknowledged her side. Still, things haven't really improved. She still doesn't talk much. She's polite. She eats dinner when we ask. Says thank you when we give her something. But it's like there's a door closed that used to be cracked open. Even when I try to help with her schoolwork or ask about her day, there's this invisible wall. She's not angry anymore. She just seems done. I know some people here think I deserve that. Maybe I do. But what's hard is I did try. Not just now, but before too. I helped with her reading goals last year. Took her to every book fair. Built her a small bookshelf for her birthday the year before. But I think the problem isn't about whether I did enough things, it's about whether I understood her. And the answer to that is no. She tried to tell me what she needed. I didn't hear her. Then when she pushed back, I made it worse. And now the part that scares me most, she's learning how to live without sharing things with me. I know some of you said it's not too late. That kid's bounce back. But what happens when the bounce doesn't come? What if this is the version of our relationship that sticks? At this point, even my wife says she doesn't know how to reach her. The worst part is, my daughter's not even acting like she hates us. It's worse than that. It's indifference. So to everyone who asked if I was the arsehole, maybe not in the way some people painted it. But yeah, I think I messed up bigger than I knew. And if any of you have advice on how to fix this without forcing it, I'll take it. I've tried pushing. I've tried gifts. I've tried talking. But I can't fake my way into her trust again. And the truth is, I don't think she's waiting for me to fix it anymore. Comments. Comment 1. This is how it starts. The silence. The shrinking. The polite, thank you, doesn't mean closeness, it means distance. I've been there. My daughter stopped telling me things in middle school, and I thought it was just a phase. I thought she'd come around too. Now she's 26, and I get texts on holidays, and I have no one to blame but myself. She gave you the gift of honesty. She told you exactly what mattered to her. A birthday that reflected who she is. You turned it into a show to avoid side eyes from family, and to make her normal. And when that didn't work, the whole house acted like she was the problem. Even now, she's not angry, she's done. She's learned it's safer to need less from you. Don't wait for her to crack. She already did. Quietly, while you were watching the other 2 boys have a good time. Comment 2. You know how many girls like your daughter I've seen in classrooms? Bright, observant, careful with their words, and slowly checking out by 7th grade, because home is just another place they're misunderstood. They stop raising their hands. Stop volunteering. Stop sharing wins. They learn early that being invisible is safer than being wrong. You're asking how to fix it, but she doesn't need fixing. She needed recognition. A $40 gift, a snack alone, a quiet night. You spent more energy on saving face for your extended family than you did on showing her you get who she is. And now you're dealing with a kid who has emotionally written you off for good reason. The worst part is she's still showing up. She's still being polite. That's not peace, that's damage control on her end. She doesn't trust you enough to be vulnerable anymore, and I don't blame her. You missed the window to celebrate her for who she is. Don't miss the next one when she finally opens a new one, even slightly. You'll get fewer chances each time. Comment 3. You're seeing the long-term outcome of a kid being emotionally outvoted in her own home. What stands out most is how isolated she became without any major incident. No fights, no screaming, just years of not being chosen. Not included in decisions that affect her. Not prioritized when it counted. That party wasn't the breaking point. It was the receipt. It's also telling that her brothers are annoyed she's not over it, while they got everything they wanted from the same event. They don't even realize they were the guests of honor. They learned early whose interests matter more, and they act accordingly. And they'll carry that forward into their own relationships unless someone intervenes. She's not pushing you away to punish you. She's building a space where she feels like a person instead of a project. Don't fill that space with more gifts. Fill it with listening. Then keep listening, especially when it's uncomfortable. Update. I didn't think I'd be back here, but a lot has happened, and I need to put it somewhere. I've replayed the comments from my last update, argued with half of them in my head, agreed with some in ways I didn't want to admit, and still ended up where I am now. I'll start with the part people kept telling me to do. One-on-one time. I asked my daughter if she wanted to go out with me. Not a big thing. Just a drive, maybe a snack. She hesitated, then said okay. I took that as a good sign. The whole thing was quiet. She answered questions, but didn't offer anything. I asked about school, books, and that small birthday party she'd gone to. Short answers. Polite. When we got back home, she went straight to her room, and that was it. No change afterwards. No warmer tone the next day. It felt like checking a box rather than rebuilding anything. A few days later, we found out she'd been talking a lot to my sister. My wife and I saw messages pop up on the iPad we all shared. Nothing inappropriate. Just conversations about books, school, and feelings. Stuff she never brings to us. My wife was angry. Not yelling, but deeply upset. She said it felt like being cut out. I agreed, even if I didn't say it as strongly. We told our daughter she needed to stop going outside the family for everything and talk to us instead. We took her phone for a few days to reinforce that point. She didn't argue. She just nodded and said okay. That's silence again. Then we found out she'd signed up for an after-school writing club without telling us. I only learned because the school emailed about pickup times. I asked her why she didn't mention it. She said she didn't think it mattered. That answer pushed something in me the wrong way. I told her it mattered because she lives here, and it's not unreasonable to expect to be informed. I asked her why it was so hard when her brothers manage it just fine. She shut down completely after that. The moment that tipped everything happened at a normal family dinner. Nothing dramatic leading into it. Just eating, talking about schedules. I mentioned an upcoming family get-together. Before I finished the sentence, my daughter said she wasn't going. That annoyed my wife, and she asked why. My daughter shrugged and said she didn't enjoy those things. I pointed out that everyone goes, and it's part of being in a family. She said she'd rather stay home and work on her writing stuff. Then my sister's name came up. Someone joked about her being the cool aunt. My daughter smiled for the first time in weeks. One of my sons noticed and made a sarcastic comment about how she only perks up when that aunt is mentioned. He laughed. My other son joined in. My daughter said, "At least she listens to me." The table went quiet. My wife reacted immediately and sent her to her room, grounding her for the comment and for refusing the family event. My daughter didn't resist. She stood up, took her plate to the sink, and left. Later that night, my wife broke down. She said she's exhausted, that everything feels like walking through fog, that nothing we do makes a difference, and she feels like we've lost authority in our own house. She asked me how we're supposed to parent a kid who clearly prefers other people. Around the same time, we got a call from school. Nothing urgent, but concerning. A teacher mentioned my daughter was doing fine academically, but had said during a check-in that she didn't feel close to anyone at home and preferred keeping things to herself. Hearing that from someone outside the family felt like being judged without a trial. Then came another hit. One of my sons got spoken to by a teacher for comments he'd made about his sister at school. Apparently, he joked that she was weird and antisocial in front of other kids. I was angry at him for that and told him so. But I also couldn't ignore that this attitude didn't come out of thin air. A few days later, I noticed the hot chocolate machine was gone from the kitchen. I asked where it was. She said she moved it to her room. I asked why. She said she uses it. No one else does, and it is easier. Her tone wasn't defiant, just final. That's when it hit me that, piece by piece, she was carving out a life that didn't include us, unless absolutely necessary. The last straw came after another phone call with the school and another round of tension at home. We felt like nothing we were doing mattered, and anything we said just pushed her further away. My sister, the aunt, had reached out separately and said our daughter had been opening up to her. She told us she was worried and that maybe our daughter needed space from the situation, not more pressure. That conversation turned into a decision I'm still wrestling with. We sent our daughter to stay with my sister for a while. The idea was time to reset. My sister agreed and said she'd help her refocus, get some perspective, and work on her habits. I truly believed this would help. That she'd see what she was taking for granted and come back with a better attitude. She packed without complaint, hugged her cat, said goodbye to her brothers politely, and just left. It's been over a week now. She's refusing to come back. My sister says she's doing well, sleeping better, more talkative, writing a lot, going on walks. She told my sister she doesn't feel tense there all the time. When we asked to talk to her on the phone, she said she's not ready yet. My wife is furious. Says my sister is undermining us. My sons are annoyed, saying she's being dramatic and dragging this out. And I'm angry, too angry that she's making this harder. Angry that she won't just come home and work through it with us. At the same time, there's a part of me that knows I pushed her here. That every time she stepped back, we tightened our grip instead of asking why she needed space. I still don't think we're bad people. We provided, we showed up, we cared. But caring doesn't seem to be enough when the person on the receiving end feels unseen. I love my daughter. That's the problem. Loving her while feeling like she's become this constant source of tension. This unpleasant thorn in daily life that I can't remove and don't want to hurt, that's tearing me apart. I keep thinking she'll regret leaving like this. That she'll realize family comes first. But right now, she's choosing not to come home. And I don't know if sending her away fixed anything or just proved her point. I'm stuck between believing I did what I had to do and realizing I may have pushed her somewhere she doesn't want to leave. Comments. Comment 1. Let me tell you how this goes. The longer she stays away, the clearer it becomes she never felt safe under your roof. And you're going to hate that sentence. But it's the truth. You had a kid who asked for quiet, for space, for patience. You gave her pressure, comparison, and surveillance. Then when she finally exhaled around someone who actually listened, you punished her for it. Took her phone, grounded her, sent her away. The irony. You sent her to the one person who already knew how to make her feel seen, the aunt you dismissed. She didn't undermine you. She parented the kid you kept misunderstanding. This isn't her being rebellious. This is her finally experiencing what it feels like to exist without being a problem to manage. Comment 2. She didn't ghost you. She stopped performing for people who ignored her when it mattered. The fact that you're mad she didn't consult you about her own damn life says everything. You don't want communication, you want control over the version of her that makes your life easier. And when she didn't give you that, you stripped away her phone, her space, and her agency, then shipped her off like a broken appliance. Now she's somewhere she feels okay, and you still think she's being dramatic. You should be worried that the person she trusts most is the one you tried to shut her off from. She's not refusing to come home to punish you. She's refusing to come back to the environment that made her feel invisible in the first place. Comment 3. Your whole family sounds like a cult. Fall in line, smile for the relatives, and don't ask for anything that makes people uncomfortable. The second she didn't play her part, you crack down like she committed some betrayal. Grounded for saying she didn't feel heard. Phone taken for talking to her aunt. You're not parenting, you're managing appearances. Your wife crying about losing authority isn't heartbreaking, it's revealing. She doesn't want a relationship with her daughter. She wants obedience. And your sons? You turn them into enforcers. They mock her, roll their eyes, and throw out emo comments. And you only say something when the school calls. They're little mirrors of how you treat her: dismissive, impatient, smug. Now she's gone. Choose peace over proximity. And you're angry she isn't begging to come back. Buddy, she escaped. That's what happened. Second story. My neighbor sent me a Christmas card after his wife left. This card is super creepy, so I confronted his wife. Now I have prepared myself with a crowbar and pepper spray after listening to his wife's defense. This is a Christmas card I got from my neighbor. It's really pretty weird, and I feel rather creeped out by it, but maybe I'm overreacting. I do not know this neighbor well at all. We've had pretty minimal interactions. I know he's married with 3 young under 10 kids. I'm sorry, it's really hard to read. His handwriting is awful. So, to start with, him addressing me as a little girl made my skin crawl. Why not use my name? My name was on the envelope, so he does know it. Secondly, apparently he's been watching to see if I had any men over and decided that since I haven't, I must be lonely. I guess he missed that my girlfriend is often over here, or just assumed she doesn't assuage my apparent loneliness. Thirdly, why is he trying to invite me over to his place while his family is gone? And lastly, he signed it as if it was from his family. But he's the only one that wrote anything on it, and I really doubt his wife signed off on the message. This is super creepy, right? I feel like I should go speak to his wife, but I really don't want to be responsible for making drama/tension in someone else's family, especially not right before Christmas. I am also considering asking my girlfriend to come stay with me for a while so that I'm not alone, and he has no reason to try making me feel less lonely. Please tell me I'm overreacting, and he's just awkwardly trying to be friendly. Comments. Comment 1. Dear little red-haired girl. We wanted to wish you a very Merry Christmas for your first year in the neighborhood. I know you live alone and don't even have boys over, so if you are feeling lonely, don't hesitate to come over. My wife is taking the boys to see their grandpa this year or week, but I have to stay to work. The is always busy. I am an imp if you didn't know, so I will be lonely this Christmas time or day. Doctor and family. Comment 2. To me this reads as an older person trying to write a neighborly note after one too many after-work cocktails, and it came off creepy. OP. I don't know how old he is, but I'd guess early to mid-40s. Comment 3. Go up to his wife and say, "Thank you guys for the card. The writing was hard to read, so I could only make out part of the message. Then show it to her and ask her to help you with the words that are hard to read." OP. I will try to talk to her when he's not there. I have no idea of his schedule, but if he's working, there should be some time he's not there. I definitely need to calm down before I make any attempt to talk to her. I don't want to come off as aggressive or angry. I'll probably have my girlfriend come with me when I do, just in case anything gets out of hand. Thank you. Comment 4. Nor. This guy has something off with him. I would recommend being anywhere but there for a good long while. This dude is disturbing. Do not be alone ever. Find a way to keep him away from you. Talk to the wife if you want. I'm not sure she'll be on your side, but you know her better than anyone else. So, if you think she's safe to talk to, then do so with the letter as evidence. Just don't let her take it from you. If she's like what I'm thinking she's like, she'll destroy it. OP. I barely know her either. Just small talk occasionally if we happen to be out at the same time. I've no idea how she'd react. Comment 5. She should know about this. Whether she'll react well or not, she has to know. Have your girlfriend nearby in case things go south. Your safety is important either way. OP. I'll try to find a time when he is gone to talk to her. I don't want him anywhere near when I do. Comment 6. I wouldn't want a guy like that as my doctor, let alone as a neighbor. That's creepy as hell, even if he's not doing that to me. I wouldn't want somebody in charge of my health when they clearly have something going on in their own world. Such as whatever this card is. A card is okay, but what's written in the card is really suspicious. Definitely ask the wife to clarify what's on the card. I wouldn't bring up your feelings on it with her, unless she thinks it's creepy too. Just be neutral and ask about clarification of what the contents of the card say. And definitely don't bring up the card with him or the kids around, as that could influence what she says. And I don't think you need to be told this, but definitely have your GF stay over if possible or someone you trust. And absolutely don't go over to his place, especially if no one else will be there. That's a situation that could go very wrong, very fast. Good luck to you. Stay safe. OP. My girlfriend agreed to come stay with me as soon as I told her, so I will not be alone. I have a Ring camera already, but I'm looking at getting more cameras to cover other angles. I'm going to try to talk to his wife at some point when he's not there, and I'll try to be calm about it, which I'm not at the moment. Comment 7. He's saying he has a crush on you. He's Charlie Brown, and you're the little red-haired girl. OP. I don't understand how he'd even have a crush. Our only interactions ever have been less than 10-second awkward neighbor greetings. Comment 8. I don't know how anyone figured out what the words were on the card to be creeped out by it. I read a translation in the comments, and yes, it is very weird. I assumed this was a very old man, but he has young kids. Commenting on your hair color makes me feel like he very much appreciates your hair, or else he wouldn't have called you that, which is odd right off the bat. Noticing that you don't have boys over is another red flag. He is hinting that he would like to sleep with you, and although he isn't being super straightforward, he is being fairly bold. It's hard to tell if he will try to approach you, but it seems likely, so I would probably have your girlfriend stay around just in case he has a few drinks and gets brave. The writing makes me feel like he had to be drunk when writing it, plus most sober people know that this isn't appropriate. A Christmas card could be a sweet gesture if he truly thought you were just a lonely person, but this doesn't seem to be innocent. Be cautious if he is around. OP. Him being drunk while writing it makes sense. How else would his handwriting be that F-ed up? My girlfriend is coming to stay with me. I'm going to have her park in the driveway, so there's clearly and visibly someone here to visit me, and so I won't be alone. Hopefully that'll be enough to deter him from trying anything. I'm getting extra security cameras as well just in case. Update. I waited most of the day for Dr. Creepy to leave for work and went over to talk to his wife with my girlfriend. I asked her about the card, and she was aware it had been sent out, but had not read it herself. She seemed both shocked/confused and defensive throughout the conversation, and I didn't feel that I could really trust her, so I didn't make any accusations, and I kept my feelings to a minimum of feeling uncomfortable with the card. The first and biggest red flag is the handwriting itself. She said that he does not ordinarily write in cursive and often struggles to remember how to write the letters. She showed me other cards that he had written in his regular handwriting, and they are much more legible. My card is the only one that he wrote in cursive on. She couldn't think of any reason he would do that other than a flight of fancy. There's only one reason I can think of. He wanted to be able to deny he wrote it if I confronted him directly. And he'd have the other cards as proof. It's not his handwriting. We went through the letter together, and she tried to explain some of it that she could. Dear little red-haired girl, she says. This was a harmless reference to Peanuts because the family had been watching the Peanuts movies together recently. Still feels really creepy to me. On the part of him, knowing I don't have boys over, she said. We both think it's odd a pretty young woman doesn't have a boyfriend, while my girlfriend was sitting right next to me. Instant dislike. About the invitation to come over during Christmas. She said it was meant for while the whole family was there, but she is leaving with the kids this Friday for almost 2 weeks. She didn't really have an explanation for that. I told her I didn't feel comfortable going over while he was alone, and she agreed with that at least. I did keep the card and just sent her a picture of it. Like I said, I don't really trust her, and I wanted to keep the card as evidence in case she tried to do anything else. She said him talking about being lonely for Christmas was just him trying to empathize with me. Pressing X to doubt. She said she would handle the situation with her husband. But I'm not sure what she means by that, and she didn't really elaborate. I don't have much faith in her doing anything since she was mostly trying to explain away the weirdness of the card. As for my personal safety, my girlfriend is staying here for the while. She brought some weapons, pepper spray, a taser, and a crowbar and said she's ready to crack heads. While I appreciate her eagerness to defend me, I truly hope that will be unnecessary. New cameras were ordered and should be arriving tomorrow, so I can set those up and watch the house from my phone. I'll be going to my girlfriend's parents' house for Christmas, so I will at least be out of the house on the day that he feels most lonely. Hopefully there won't be much else to update. Comments. Comment 1. What the actual F? The beginning of a horror movie or true crime. Merry Christmas. Here are 10 cameras, a crowbar, and some mace. How old is he? I'd dig in. Happy for this to be on the internet and not real life. Sorry. You'll be fine. I'm now invested. OP. He's 47. I asked to make sure. I know everyone thought he was super old, but nope. He just really sucks at writing cursive. Comment 2. Have you Googled him? OP. I have. Not much came up. Facebook, his place of work, and a charity he volunteered at. I don't see any crime-related things on him. Comment 3. The wife said she can handle her husband. What can she do while she's gone for 2 weeks? Alarm bells are going off about this guy. I'm glad you're being proactive. OP. I don't know what she plans to do or when she plans to do it. It would have been nice to know in case there was any potential blowback on me, since he could blame me for whatever happens for showing her the card. Comment 4. Honestly, her being defensive about it is probably her own self-protection. She's probably upset and angry about it, and was trying not to show it. My neighbor was the exact same when her husband tried things with me. She apologized after she left him for how she reacted at first. It's not an uncommon thing to do when you're suddenly being told the man you built a life with turns out to be a creep, as per my therapist at the time. I'm glad you're not alone and getting out of the house during Christmas itself. Stay safe. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.